Hey everybody, welcome to the Dice Tower. I'm Tom Vasel. This is 6,000 Games Better Than These. And what this is, if you've not seen this series before, is I'm just going to Board Game Geek, one of the best resources for board games on the internet, and I'm taking looks at games that are ranked 6,000 or below, because there's a lot of gems that get hidden in there. There's a lot of stuff that's the opposite of gems that are hidden in there also, and just going through them. So we're just going to jump right into this. Today we're starting with 6,201, and that is Veruna, which is a flippin' right. Actually, it looks pretty cool. I mean, look at that cover. Huh. I don't know much about this game, but it looks interesting. This came out in 2021. It re-implements the meter. Huh. Well, it looks kind of interesting. All right, but I haven't played that one. The first one I have played on here is Mutant Crops. So this is a game which I found to be pretty enjoyable here, despite the weirdness of that cover, as you're growing different crops and then they attack other people. Such oddity to this game. Not great artwork. It's been a while since I played it. It came out in 2016. I rated this in 2018. I wonder if I would still give it an 8 today. I'm not sure. All right, what about Pocket Ops? So Pocket Ops was a game from a company, I believe their first game they made. No, maybe I'm mixing them up. This is a two-player game of deduction. So it's kind of like tic-tac-toe, but you're also deducing where your opponent puts stuff from Grand Gamers Guild. This is a nice little game. There's not a lot of pocket games out there that are fun two-player ones, and I think this one works really well. All right, then we got several games here I haven't played. This is one that I meant to play when it came out, Squaring Circleville, where they were actually redesigning a city. That's the whole point of this game. This one is, I believe, from GMT. No, Spielworks, my apologies. And I'm pretty sure Chris and Wendy reviewed it at some point. Yep, Chris and Wendy reviewed it. I don't remember what they gave it, but I don't remember them, like, loving it. But it's still, I like the theme a lot. Let's see what else we got here. Cameloot, that's kind of a funny name. Arg! Say Anything Family Edition. So Say Anything Family Edition, this is the family game of Say Anything. If you've never played Say Anything is a game where you can write down the answers, ask a question, and go, what's one thing I would never eat for breakfast? And everyone writes an answer down. I look at the answers, I pick my favorite, everyone votes on the one they think I'll pick. So it's kind of fun, and I get points if people guess the right one, too. And I like that concept a lot. So this is a fun family-style game. A couple other games here. We got Colors of Kasani. Not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. This is a very little-known game where you're placing color cards next to each other to make this colorful dress. And I apologize if I'm mispronouncing it. But I like this. Man, I remember actually where I was when I first played this game. It's back and forth, little game here. I played it in a hotel. Yeah, it's a fun little theme here. And yeah, oh well. I haven't played it in a while, but I enjoyed it when I did. Dragon Rampage. This is a game from Richard Launius. This is a competitive fantasy game here where you're going through and you're an adventurer and you're going to either kill the dragon or not. Now, you might say, if you like it so much, why have you never talked about it? Well, because I liked it so much that he actually redid it. It's now called Dragon Scales. Dragon Scales, which is not my 6,000 below, it's ranked 5,457, is a Dice Tower Essential and is the same game, except here you have monsters instead of, you're like evil overlords fighting someone. I still like the concept of this because your goal is kill the dragon, run from the dragon, or, you know, whatever. There's different victory conditions, and I've always been a big fan of that. All right, let's see here. And we got Sunflower Valley. I know that's a draw right that a lot of people liked. We have Voyage of the BSM Pandora. Never played that. Tesla versus Edison Duel. Now, Tesla versus Edison was a game I liked. Okay, it had some problems with it, but the duel I found to be pretty dreadful. I like this concept of Tesla versus Edison, but this game was just so boring and unfun. Then we have Dice Hunters of Theion and New Haven. I played both of these. Dice Hunters of Theion was a game that they really thought was going to take off. I remember when they showed this to me. This was from Richard Garfield. And they were just really expecting everyone to be like, oh, Richard Garfield. And there are some cool aspects of it. You're rolling dice to catch these monsters, but it's not that good of a game. You roll better, you do better. New Haven, this is a game that I thought was okay. This is another, build a Euro style game in colonial lands. And see those pictures? Some of you, when you look at those, might be like, yes, that's for me. But it is not for me. Alrighty. That Gygas game looks interesting. And Pilgrim. I remember loving the cover of Pilgrim. I always like games from this company here. Gigamic, they make good abstracts. I remember looking at this cover and just really enjoying this cover, but never played the game. Cultivate, I remember when that was all the rage for a bit. Ninja Tyson I played, and Jurassic Parts. So Ninja Tyson is a game from Yellow, and it's a two-player game with a random setup. I don't remember this at all. Oh my. When did I review this game? 2017. That's not that long ago. And I can't remember it at all. Not a good sign. Jurassic Parts, I do remember. This one I gave a 5.5 to. Didn't love this one. This was one of the first games I got from 25th Century. And I was like, man, this new company has good. They try so hard. Their stuff looks so good. But I don't know if I love their stuff. Now I think 25th Century is fantastic. This one is about digging in cards. You have and tiles, and you'll have them all on the board here. And you're digging for dinosaur fossils. There's a lot of cool aspects of it, but the game wasn't that great. But it did introduce me, one of the introductory games, like I said, to 25th Century. So we have Foxy and Vikings on board. Foxy is a game of memory. You're going to look at a bunch of cards in a row, and you have to remember what animals are on those cards. It's a memory game that I found myself enjoying. And then Vikings on board. This was a game from Blue Orange put this out. And Blue Orange was hot at this point with their new family games. And I was like, ooh, this one has boats with Vikings. And it just wasn't that good of a game. So here we have Risk Star Wars Clone Wars Edition. Now, there is a Star Wars Risk out there, which is a good game. This is not quite the same, but it looks cool. And you might want to get it just for the minis. As we go down here, we got Skyline 3000, Bowling Solitaire, Lucky's Misadventures, Lost in Autopia, and Dog Royal. I haven't played a lot of these. The Ladybug's Costume Party, but I have played Trollhalla. Trollhalla, I believe, is Alf's Secret. Yes, this is you're going out and sending things to islands. It's okay. I like a lot of what Alf does. He does some really interesting games. This one is forgettable. It's from Z-Man Games, and I honestly have forgotten it, other than I remember when I've seen it. I'm like, oh, yeah, I remember playing that game, but it doesn't really bring a lot of other things back to me. Princess Jing. Now, Princess Jing has these mirrors, and so you're hiding, and you're like trying to protect the princess one point, the other person's trying to find her by looking at mirrors in these little things. And so they're like little pieces, but there's a person inside them, and you're trying to find the princess. And you're doing that by looking through mirrors. It's almost a good concept. I don't think the mirrors worked as well as I would like them to. Ghost Letters looks like some sort of party game. Kingdom Rush Elemental Uprising, that one's doing pretty well. We have this here in the studio. I have not played it yet. Caveman Curling. So I'm not a big curling fan. That would be my co-host in the Dice Tower, Eric Summerer. But I did enjoy this game. It's a fun dexterity game of, well, curling in caveman days. And then I got several games here that we played. So let's pull each of these up. So first we have Rescuing Robin Hood. This is a game in which a collaborative deck building game. This is one of those games that if I ever make a list of games you've never played but you should, this is definitely one of those. I really, really like this game. In it, you're playing these characters, and I get the art is what the art is, but you're playing characters, and you're building up stats to fight the different people to go rescue Robin Hood, but you're setting up for the next person. And there's just some really great cooperative stuff in this. It feels different than other cooperative games. Definitely worth checking out. Ghostal. This is the first game I think I got from Tinkerbot Games. Actually, it might be the only one I got from Tinkerbot Games. But this was about moving ghosts around and scaring people. I remember they had 3D printed ghosts when I first went. I was like, ooh, that's cool. Now everyone has 3D printed pieces. Yeah, I like this one. Tierra New Era. This is a reprint of their first game. So Tierra is essentially a dumbed-down family-style Agricola is the best way to describe it. You just have all these worker placement. You're getting resources and building a farm. And so I had hoped to see more from this company. I haven't seen much more from them, but I found this one to be enjoyable. It's not as streamlined and as good as Rosenberg's games, but it's good. Trump Tricks Games. We're now in an era where everything is a trick-taking game, but this is one of the original ones. And what's good about this game, in Trump's Tricks Games, the cards that you win are going to be the cards, I believe, the cards that you have in the next round. That might be the way it plays. Hey, I wrote a review of it. And deck a card. The tricks you've won, you multiply the footprints by that. And maybe I'm mixing this up with another one. I said it's one of the best games I played in 2005, and that's an impressive feat, I said 19 years ago. Well, I enjoyed it, so it's a trick-taking game. Let's see what else we got down here. Rattle Battle Grab the Loot. Alrighty. So Rattle Battle Grab the Loot is a game that I thought I would enjoy, and this is one of Ignacy Trzewiczek's grand designs. And in this, you're fighting, and this all looks really cool, by the way. You're looking at this. But what the game is, and I'm seeing if I can find a picture. Yeah, here it is. You roll dice and throw them in a box, and then you're shooting at each other, and these are your ships and stuff, and you even measure a little bit. I'm like, I don't want to play a measuring miniatures games with dice that I threw randomly into a box. There's a lot of cool ideas, but it was a mishmash that didn't really work. Funkoverse, this is one of the Funkoverse sets. I'm sure we'll see more of them down here. This is the Jurassic Park one, and this one's only rated so lowly because there's not a single one. Talk about a game that's fallen off the deep end, though. I have a huge Funkoverse collection. Dice Tower Library never gets checked out. And Timeline British History. I remember we bought this in England and played it. I like Timeline, so why not play some British History Timeline? All right, what else we got here? We have Such a Thing. There's Brave Little Belgium. And Wrath of Dragons, A Fistful of Penguins, and Mech Warrior Dark Age. So Such a Thing's a party game. And that I thought was okay. You have to think of a thing that fits a number of categories. Okay. You have to say that there's something that doesn't match all the cards currently. I remember that. It was a fine game, but not great. Wrath of Dragons is a game I played a long time ago here. Well, about a decade, from Catalyst Game Labs. I remember this. You have dragon stuff. The pieces don't look great. This was one of their better games that they made when they were dipping their toe into board game world. But now you look at it, you're like, it could be better produced. A Fistful of Penguins. I did not particularly care for this one. You roll dice to get animals for your zoo. But I do remember it had really cool components. So that's nice. Mech Warrior Dark Age. So this came out, and I remember when I first played this game. I like Mech Warrior a lot. And you know what? I didn't want to play in this era where there was most of the mechs were repurposed farm machines when you bought them. It was in the Dark Age, which is one of my least favorite periods of Mech Warrior history. WizKids did it. So it was an interesting concept. I just didn't like it as much as I should have. What else we got here? We got a game called Fire and a game Star Wars Bounty Hunters. I don't like either. Fire is basically it's an arcade game from Freedom and Freeze, and you're trying to get a high score in it. It's a solo game. I just found it not to be very fun at all. And Star Wars Bounty Hunters, I did not enjoy this one. We just put it in the Dice Tower Library. No one played it, so I'm pulling it right back out. But it's a drafting game, and its connection with Star Wars is very tenuous at best. Then we got Loot and Run, Tahiti, Bushido, and Conspiracy. We also have Avatar, Fire Nation Rising, by someone like that. And then finally, Pocket Imperium. So let's take a look at those 5 games. Loot and Run. This is where you're grabbing cards from a mummy's tomb, a little bit of a push your luck. That was fun. Tahiti, a small peaceful island with different gods. This is from Minion Games. Minion Games no longer exists, and I doubt this is one that will get picked up. Bushido. This is from Gray Fox Game. Wow, it's been a while since I played this one. And I don't think a lot of other people played it either, because there's not a lot of people talking about it here on Board Game Geek, considering it came out like 6 years ago. Dueling martial artists. But it was a fun back and forth, kind of like a rock, paper, scissors thing. Conspiracy. This is an old game, and I always love this game. Trying to figure out the top secret briefcase. This game brings back such good memories for me. Now, it was remade by Conspiracy the Salon Gambit. This is from Restoration Games, and they did a good job at remaking it. It looks good, and it's a better game than the original one. Pocket Imperium. This one I did not enjoy. When did I play this one? In 2015. Yeah, some things shouldn't be in a pocket, and a Space Forex game for me is one of those, which is why I didn't particularly enjoy that. Last game on the list today is Plotters. It's another trick-taking game. It came out in '99. Alrighty, so there you go, folks. That is another 10 or 100 games, I guess, on our list as we go through these. In these ones that we went through today, which one is your favorite? I think my favorite is probably the Say Anything Family Edition. That's a really fun game. But also, no, that's a party game. I'm going to give mine to Rescuing Robin Hood. Definitely one you should check out. But what's your favorite? Let me know in the comments. Until next time, I'm Tom Vasel. You've been watching 6,000 Games Better Than These on the Dice Tower. Hey everybody, thanks for watching another video from the Dice Tower. Hey, you want to learn more about us, communicate with us? We have a Facebook group, we have a Discord channel, lots of different ways to get involved with the Dice Tower. You can find that in our Linktree link below. So just click that, it will take you, and you can communicate with us on Facebook, join our Facebook groups. There's lots of cool things that you can find and become part of the Dice Tower. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Tom Vasel.